you're not imagining it. Those rules you're supposed to follow about how women are supposed to be, about what you're supposed to want, about how and what you should achieve. Those rules weren't written with you in mind. Have they told you that you're too sensitive, too driven, too outspoken, too much? Me too. I see you. I'm Kim Kuhteubl, creator and co-producer of this podcast, Voice Lessons, about creativity, visibility, and the way women lead. I work with women who are navigating the space between identities, between who the world sees and who they know themselves to be. The ones who are transforming their lineage, who are learning to trust their intuition as they lead. It might feel like you're the only person in the room who sees things the way you do. But the truth is that you're the only one brave enough to speak up, because you can't not speak up. Even when your voice is shaking, even when it comes with a label, one that might sting a lot. But look, I know you keep it moving because you have things to do in and for the world. Some people like you better when you play smaller. They don't like the fact that you're the one in charge, that you have opinions, that you are different, that you are willing to stand up and make change. They don't understand that this is what you were designed to do. You are here to blow up broken systems and ways of being. You are here to transform the culture. If only you could stop feeling like an imposter. If only you could feel like you belonged in the rooms you were born ready to change. So for all of you leading companies, movements, and families in the ways that only you can, this is a lesson on owning the room. If you've ever shown up in a room, boardroom or otherwise, on a job site or at a conference where people don't expect to see a woman like you, raise your hand. If you're Generation X or older, it's pretty much par for the course. Industries that were traditionally male-dominated are changing because women like us are in the room. Rooms we might not have been allowed to be in before because you look different, because you dress different, and you're pursuing a calling they didn't think you were designed to pursue. But in the words of Lady Gaga, you were born this way. And from this moment onward, I would recommend you own that in the way that only you can. Your curiosities, your talents, and ideas are exactly as they are supposed to be. You likely have a solution that hasn't been thought of before. And if you weren't meant to be in that room, you wouldn't be there. That's physics. You are an energetic match for the vibration that room emits. So while you're there, remember this. You are an F.O.D, first, only, different. That's what Shonda Rhimes, the most powerful woman in television, calls women like you. And now it's a subject in universities. You can also get a degree in influencer marketing if you choose, and you know who dominates that industry? Women, too. But that's another story. Women who are F.O.Ds are more likely to feel pressure to provide evidence of their competence, value, and rights, or experience microaggressions, bearing a double burden as we redefine what it means to be women who lead. Rhimes says, first only difference, don't get second chances, but I don't agree with that because I don't believe that any one person or institution is your source. You are an employee of the divine. And if you stay your course, you will receive your annual bonus and create a trust fund that allows you to pass on your wealth of time, joy, creativity, and yes, dollars to future generations. Next. People can't see what you think. Overestimating the degree your thoughts are transparent to others is a cognitive bias called the illusion of transparency. So as much as you feel like it when you're anxious, other people cannot see what you think. They don't know how nervous you are or that F-up you just made. They can't tell you've gained a few pounds and that you're having a bad hair day, that you lost your shiz with your toddler this morning. And even if someone does notice that you're a little off, even if they tap into what you're worried about, they don't care as much as you think. I'll tell you why in a second. Besides, they're going to forget about it when the news cycle shifts, so don't hang on to their judgment. Next. People can't see what you think, and a lot of the time, they don't care. It's why Don Miguel Ruiz says, don't take anything personally in the 4 agreements. You are, at least you should be, the center of your own universe, but not everyone else is. Even though that sometimes feels hard for you to believe, your inner private world and their public perceptions aren't a match. The reverse is also true, though. As well as you know yourself, you will never fully understand someone else's mental state as well as you think you do, as much as you think you know, no matter how intimately you know them, because we are always changing. And why would you want to? When you make a decision you believe impacts your family or your friends or your boss's well-being, and you make it because you think you know them so well, and it's at your expense. Caregivers, I am talking to you. Think again. Sacrifice is a huge part of the narrative of being a female caregiver, along with the suggested trade-offs they think you should make to guarantee your success. Now, you may feel like a target sometimes, and there is a cognitive bias called the self as target bias that happens when you believe that events are disproportionately directed towards you. I call my own version producer paranoia. It usually strikes when I'm pitching new work and I worry that someone who hates me knows the person I'm pitching to and they talked about me and now I'm not going to get my foot in the door. Now look, I'm not saying that there is not systemic, legal, by the way, systemic bias. I'm not saying some people don't like you, that they don't want you to do well, that there aren't minor players who are operating weird agendas who would sabotage your success. I'm not saying they don't exist. They do. But don't focus on them. Focus on your vision, on your mission. Focus on the people who want you to succeed. Align with them. If you're focused on the fight, you will have won. If you are focused on your ability to achieve your vision, your end goal, you will get there. If you're in your head all the time or subject to a ruthlessly critical inner monologue, you're going to feel very lonely walking your path. Academic institutions and corporations are still mired in the cultural inertia of the good old boys club, but you are there to change that. That's exactly why you're in the room, to change the optics. Next, write your own narrative. There is no need to cosplay some character someone else has written for you in your own story. You needn't respond to gossip. As if what other people think of is your business? Are you spending energy living in reaction to the judgments of people who don't share your values? Or who you don't even like? That was a big one for me. When I stopped living in the fear that they wouldn't like me, I realized I really didn't like them. But I'd made them my source for success, which is why I stayed in the room so long. Next, and this is my favorite, let them underestimate you. In poker, they call it a tell. When someone is outwardly rude or gets a certain kind of smirk when they see me in what they think is an unlikely space for me, they have shown me who they are. They're an easy mark to be played or ignored, but not to be distracted by. Go get what you came here for. And finally, you are being used. And I mean this in the most positive of ways. If you are a woman alive in this moment of profound change, I believe you are here to lead the change in the conversation, in whatever conversation you find yourself in. The world is complicated, and there are many broken systems and paradigms, and I wholeheartedly believe that we have the ideas to fix them, the teams to build them. They lie in us. If you're in that room, own it.